These are the end times. There was no hope of survival. This is how you died. This is one of the first things you see when loading up a world of Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid is an open-world, isometric survival video game where the players try to survive as long as possible in a zombie-infested post-apocalyptic world. It is currently in development by an independent developer known as the Indie Stone. The Indie Stone is a very small studio that is comprised of just 24 employees, which is a far cry from big-name studios like Rockstar that have thousands and thousands of employees. They have 24. It's very small, clearly, and they haven't made any games other than Project Zomboid. In fact, they started out making mods for The Sims 3 and Civ 5, but in 2013, in November, they released the early access version of Project Zomboid, and then in February of 2014, they put out the first multiplayer variation. This game has gone through so many changes since the early steps 11 years ago. However, we're not here to talk about the Indie Stone, we're here to talk about Project Zomboid and why it's so unique. So without further ado, let's jump into that and see what makes Project Zomboid unique. Project Zomboid runs off of a permadeath system. Basically, you got one life and that's it. Once you die, it's game over. Anything you had, any skills, weapons, equipment is gone. Except there is a very cool feature that I've seen no other games have before. And this is where if your character dies, if you know where they are on the map when you respawn with a new character, you can go and find your previous character as a zombie. You can kill said zombie version of you and get all your gear back. So it makes the whole permadeath sense of it kind of fair. So like if you don't you don't lose everything, but you do lose all of your skills. You could be a master in shooting, reloading, tackling, forging. You could have perfect fitness and perfect stamina. All of that is gone with the new character, but at least you won't lose your gear, because that is one of the hardest parts of Project Zomboid, is finding decent gear. A lot of times, when you loot your starting house, you got nothing. You gotta go break in your neighbor's house and hope that they have something better, because I think I've played the game about 60 hours by now, and I think I've only found good stuff in the actual starting house, like a handful of times. So at least not losing all your gear is a solid plus. Another thing the game will teach you very, very early on is guns are not a good idea. This is a big thing in zombie media, the use of firearms and guns. It's always move the head, destroy the brain, or a bullet to the head will kill a zombie. Which is true. You will definitely very quickly kill zombies with firearms in Project Zomboid, but there's one small issue. Guns are very, very loud, and zombies, with them being very simple creatures, they hear a loud noise and they go investigate. What if you don't have enough bullets? What if your gun jams? What if you need to reload? And now you have a small horde on you, and that's not gonna end well. The game teaches you very, very clearly that the best choice is stealth or melee, because those are quiet, and quiet does not alert zombies, obviously. So yes, they are an option. Yes, they are a very good option. You need to make sure that before you start using guns, that you know the downsides of them. That you know what could happen if something goes wrong. And importantly, you need to have enough ammo, because you will attract so many zombies that you didn't even know were in the game. That they could be on the other side of town, and because guns are loud, they'll hear them from the other side of town. If you have enough ammo, you could be lucky and clear out an entire horde, hit in a car, and move on down the road. Or you could run out of ammo, and now you're facing a horde of zombies that you started to be able to take out quickly with guns, and now you're hitting them with melee weapons, and it's taking a lot longer, and it's a much, much bigger ordeal. So the combat is also in depth, as you need to choose what is the best choice here. Do I go guns blazing, loud, and quickly kill zombies? Or do I take the quieter, slower route that is safer, I guess? A big part of Project Zomboid is a little bit of skill and a little bit of luck. You want it to hopefully be lucky with your first spawn, but sometimes you can get screwed, and this just happens. I had just hit play with him. In game, he was alive for like 2 minutes. Just want to throw that out there. That is a very big possibility that can happen. You can just spawn in, die immediately. So far, we've talked about the combat with the guns and melee discussion that we had. But there's another part that I'd like to talk on, and that is the crafting. This game has a simple but intuitive crafting design. And it looks very complicated, but when you really look at it, it's actually quite simple. It just tells you need X item, and you need this, 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 and you can make this. So for example, I'm going to show my character making Molotov cocktails. And if I'm going to show him making Molotov cocktails, I obviously got to show him using them, because they're awesome. So far, I've talked about the crafting mechanics and how you can make weapons, but something else you can do is you can build up like whole entire like actual like bases. As you can see here, this is from my own personal run. All the clips you saw during this video were from like stuff that I record for the video. This is my own, as I said, personal run that I have going. With this, I built this entire fenced up backyard. As you can see a little bit to the left there is a door, and that is the only way to get into my backyard. This is the back fence is from a fence that was already there, and I built up my own fence just so that zombies would stop breaking in here, because if you notice, that door that I walked through is not a normal house door. Instead, it's actually a door I had to build because I was on a supply run. I came back, a zombie chased me, and I ran upstairs hoping the zombie would leave me alone, and it didn't. It broke down my entire door, and that door, when there was a hole for this door, this was a huge problem. I almost got bit several times. So there's an entire like base building mechanic that I really like. You can also see the windows have curtains or cloths pulled over them and are boarded up, which makes it so zombies can't see the light, and if they do get attracted for some reason, they have to break through 3 pieces of wood before they can actually get in my house. This right here is a weapon stockpile I have. It also shows that I've also been hoarding medical supplies, which is a big part of the game, because you're going to have to learn how to make sure if your character gets injured, you can fix it, because the injuries in this game can become quite severe. And while we're on the topic of talking about medical supplies, this is a perfect time to bring up the modules. I have tired, discomfort, and as of right now, hungry. These are what tells you what's wrong with your character and how to handle them. Discomfort usually means you're holding a bit too much, and tired is, well, tired. Then you have your medical tab right here where I'm removing a bandage and I have a scratch underneath. These are things you really need to actually like take into account, which is what I like about Project Zomboid, because most games you just wrap duct tape on your arm and call it a day. Project Zomboid, you actually have to pay attention to these things and like wash your bandages and disinfect your wounds and all this other stuff, which is what I like about the game, because it gives it that sense of like, oh, this is real. I need to actually like pay attention to this. Along with having to watch out for your own well-being medical wise, you also need to eat and drink properly and regularly so that you don't become hungry or dehydrated, because then you're not going to have any stamina to be able to fight. Fighting an empty stomach is not a good idea. Last but not least, there are 2 final little panels that I want to talk about. One of them is being skills, and this shows you how proficient you are in things. As you see, my character is good in carpentry. And the other tab is info. This tells you basic stats about your character, like their name, how many zombies you've killed, how long you've survived, so on and so forth. And yes, I named my character Tech 9 because he looked like Tech 9 when I made him, and now he just looks like a guy with a beard. So just like my last video, I'm gonna yap a little bit about the end and what exactly was the point of me making this video. Well, I suck at Project Zomboid, but I've been getting better at it, and I really like it, and I really like all the in-depth mechanics that the game offers, and I want to talk about that because I've played probably at least 100 zombie games. I've played all the Resident Evil games, I've played 7 Days to Die, I've played Days Gone, I've played Dying Light, I played Project Zomboid obviously, I played Left 4 Dead, that's another big one, but all of these games have something in common, and that's the zombies, but all of them excel in certain areas. I believe Left 4 Dead's fast-paced combat hands itself well in that style of game. Dying Light's parkour is the big part of that. Resident Evil's is the horror aspect, but none of them really offer a true survival experience quite like Project Zomboid. And that's what I want to talk about, because this game is so unique in everything it does, as I previously mentioned over the last 10 minutes that you've been watching this, if you still are, and if you are, I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. But I just needed to just kind of say my thoughts on the game, because I've owned this game for like 2 years, and I've only just recently started playing it within the last couple months, and then playing it a lot for this video and for the personal run that I showed to show the last little bits that I didn't have things recorded for other characters. And there is one hidden character that looks like a video game character. If you know who it is, put it down in the comments, and I'll let you know if you're right. Hint, he's at the start of the video, around that point. And that's really it. I appreciate you guys for watching, and if you liked it, please comment down below. Let me know what you liked about it. Let me know what you want to see me do next, and I'll catch you in the next video. That's all for now. Bye-bye.